is going to be our trip up to Alaska. We're thrilled that we get to go to our cabin up there. But our trip is going to really consist of our drive up, long driving days, and just doing overnighters like at Walmart. Good morning! Today is the start of day 3. We spent the night at Walmart last night at Fort St. John. And do we know where we're going tonight? No, not really.
We are just driving and we're actually making great time. It's a glorious day today instead of the rain that we had most of yesterday.
Yeah, it was dumping rain all day. Ugh, the trailer looks like it needs a bath really bad, which it does, along with us. Not really, but... So, it's going to be a really nice day. It'll be a nice switch. And this stretch between pretty much Dawson Creek and Whitehorse is a lot more remote. Watson Lake, we'll hit that tomorrow with the Sign Forest. But definitely more remote, so there's no Walmarts to stay at tonight, which is cool too, because it's not really my thing. If you do stay at a Walmart, the one at Fort St. John was really quiet. So I had read online that the one at Dawson Creek was really noisy and not ideal. So we pushed on another 40 miles to Fort St. John, and I slept pretty good. Rhonda not so much, but it was only because she was thinking about stuff. Wee trucker. Anyway, today is going to be super scenic. We've got some mountain passes to go over, and it's a nice day, so we're excited. Yay! Whoa, day 3 was epic. We can't stop and be tourists, but we felt like tourists anyway. There is so little traffic on the Alcan. We maybe saw, there's some truckers, but maybe we saw a few cars with Alaska plates heading south, and just a few people heading up to Alaska that live up there, and more truckers heading north. But because of that, the wildlife, I've never seen so much wildlife in one day. It was crazy. How much did we see?
I don't know. We saw at least 8 or 9 black bear, and we saw an elk. We caught a couple of groups of moose.
Some caribou, some fox, some dozens of stone sheep. We saw cranes, sandhill cranes. Oh my God, I think we saw it all. We didn't see a grizzly yet.
And it was really cool to see the bison here. I guess they are endangered, but their babies are being born.
Yeah,
so
we're here in May,
babies.
so lots of babies. This is our prime calving season. So let's talk about the spot that we're in. So it's on IOverlander, and it's a lookout. Here's some scenes from that. Woo. This is a really huge lookout and overlooks the river. So the Yard River is over that way, and there's a kind of like a viewpoint right here. And legend has it, according to the milepost, that outlaws used to stand up here, and it was a good vantage point to see the riverboats, and then they'd rob the riverboats down below. But it's also, there's a cairn over here, and that cairn is in honor of the surveyors that surveyed the Alaska Highway. So beautiful spot. So it was a great overnight. We both slept really well. It was super quiet. There was an occasional trucker that came and went, and then there's somebody down there with a car and a small U-Haul. So I'll put the coordinates below of this particular spot if you want a free overnight stay. Beats Walmart any day.
Yeah, it was actually day 3. Gorgeous views. A lot of curvy, windy mountain passes. But it was well worth it.
Yeah, it was gorgeous.
For the wildlife and for the views.
So we're going to start day 4. We're just south of the Yukon, and we should get into Alaska maybe tomorrow. Whoa, cool. All right, we just got to the Yukon, and they have a checkpoint there, basically. So they make you pull over, turn off the engine, and then they ask us a bunch of questions, along with we actually had to sign our name to a health declaration. So we have 24 hours, actually, to transit through the Yukon. It is 8:36 in the morning right now, so we have to be through the Yukon and into Alaska border by tomorrow. It's about an 8-hour drive. We usually don't like to drive really kind of that many hours in a day. So we'll get as far as we can today, and we may just have to get up super early tomorrow morning and double check and see what time the border opens tomorrow at Beaver Creek. There is going to be another checkpoint when we get to Whitehorse, so that they'll route us around downtown and make sure we don't go into downtown. They're really trying to make sure, because it's out here quite a ways, and the only probably really big hospital is going to be in Whitehorse. We're in Watson Lake right now, and there's a hospital here. But if it got really bad as far as COVID-19, it would be hard to not have it. To take care of people in a place like this that's so kind of out there. I'm just going to do a drive-by of the sign forest. We can't stop. We've been to the sign forest before, but it's over here to our right.
Shut up.
I know. Super long day. We've been on the road now for about 7 hours, and we didn't realize that when we came into Yukon we'd have to pretty much do it in one shot. I'm ready to be done and just sleep at a rest stop that says no camping. They're probably not enforcing it, but it's definitely kind of a tough go for travelers going to or from Alaska, because you've got to do it pretty much do it within 24 hours. Doesn't sound like a big deal, and they said when we kind of checked in at the stop that hey, it usually takes about 8 hours. Well, it doesn't really take about 8 hours when you're in a travel trailer, right? Because then you got stops and you're slower and all the frost heaves and et cetera, et cetera. How you doing? Anyway, I forgot where I was at. This guy is just asking about gas at the next stop. We don't know if it's open or not. A few places.
I'd say he's cutting it pretty close at 1 mile.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, well, plus or minus a gallon of gas, and I'd give him some, but we don't really have any to spare ourselves. So anyway, we're gonna press on. Rhonda's a little bit more on the nervous side. Okay, it's all about. It's all about compromise and listening to your sweetie. She'll be up all night if we don't press at least a little bit closer to the border. We have to get across into Alaska by 8:30 in the morning because Yukon will fine you, or they threaten to fine you or put you in jail if you're in the Yukon more than 24 hours. So Rhonda will feel a little bit more comfortable if we're at least a little bit closer, and we'll keep going. I'm like, I'm tired, it's raining, it's dark, so
I don't want to cut it that close.
Yeah, and it's literally going to take us just over 12 hours probably from the time we got into the Yukon until the time we actually get out. And again, it's because the frost heaves are terrible, but I knew that, so that your route you're going is always a lot slower coming through here, pretty much all the way to Tok. The frost heaves really, especially with the travel trailer, really make you slow down. And sometimes you got to pull out and take pictures, but then the puppy's got to stop and eat. We have to stop and eat. We got to stop and get gas. So all that time adds up. So with that, we're gonna keep on keeping on. And the guy is over here, I thought maybe he was stopping for the night, but he was just checking to see if we knew about gas at the next stop.
Well, it's finally the end of day 4, and it's 9:30, and we made it to Beaver Creek, which is about 20 miles away from the border crossing. We were so tired, we really didn't want to do that, but at least we're within a stone's throw of the border for our 8:30 deadline. And basically we had a hard time finding any place to stay, so we're just in a pullout, even though it's posted no parking. There's another RV here, so we're hoping, given we're coming in so late, that it won't be a problem.
Yeah, we're hoping that they're not enforcing the no camping or overnight parking at the rest stop because of their 24-hour mandate to get through the Yukon. There's actually really no place to stay. And be able to follow the rules. The RV parks are actually closed here, so if we got to get to the border by 8:30 in the morning at the latest. So
we could have taken a chance on trying to find something outside of town. There was a couple spots. Some RVs were already in there. Getting kind of tired. Didn't really want to start exploring down roads to see if we could park there. So. Hopefully we won't get a knock on the door.
I don't think we
really
will.
Hoping that Angie's right. But this was another banner day, even though we had rain off and on at times. We saw a grizzly after we left the last rest stop, where we saw a couple of young eagles. We saw moose and more black bear.
So our black bear count is 20.
Yeah.
So lots more wildlife.
Yeah.
So anyway, we'll see you tomorrow when we cross the border. What's for breakfast?
Well, since you started talking to me with my mouth full, we are having egg sandwich, which is basically turkey sausage and egg with a little bit of Swiss between a muffin. And Angie made a whole bunch of these up before we came across the border. So some of them are frozen, some not. Anyway, we've been having these in the morning because it takes about a minute to warm them up, and it fills you up and you can get on the road quick. So thanks, Angie, for making these. And it's less cooking, less dishes, all of that kind of stuff. So we do a lot of that ahead of time.
Amen. So we didn't get a knock on the door at 2 a.m. Didn't think we would. And then we were here with about 3 other RVs. One of them's already left, and I think we'll leave before the guy behind us. So yeah, I had a feeling we wouldn't. Yay. And we'll hit Alaska in about half an hour. Yay.
Mm.
Are subject to a 14-day quarantine by the state of Alaska. You need to go on their website and register for your international travel. If you have any questions about what that entails, call 211
you. Whew. We're in Alaska, woohoo! We made it to Tok. The border agent was kind of grumpy, but oh well. I'd ask him if he needed a hug, but you know, with COVID, that's not allowed. But we'll see how far we get today. We just got gas. Oh my god, we were less than a quarter of a tank, which is pushing it a little closer than I like to. I knew we'd make it to Tok, but we're gonna get gas in Beaver Creek, but both gas stations there weren't open, or we had to go inside and pay, and we're trying to be as hands-off, less contact the better with people. So and then we thought there was going to be a gas station across the border, and there was, but it was all closed up. So here we are in Tok and just got gas at $2.35 a gallon. Woo! A lot cheaper than Canada, although I would say Canadian gas is a lot less expensive than in times past that we've been. Anyway, on the road again. Good morning. It's a fine morning in Alaska. It's not even raining right now. There's beautiful snow in the mountains over here. And we stopped just short of Talkeetna. We're in Wasilla right now. We're probably about an hour and 15 minutes from home, but we decided to stop short. We didn't want to get there late. We don't know the condition of our driveway or the short road going in towards our driveway, so we might have to do some work on it to get the RV into our driveway. So we wanted to get there when we were a little bit more awake and our brains were a little bit more, you know, we can think a little bit better instead of trying to get there late and trying to figure things out. We did stop at Walmart here in Wasilla. It was pretty quiet last night, and we do need to quarantine for 14 days once we get there, so we have not been around anybody, haven't had any contact, but we did need a few groceries, so we did the Fred Meyer click list, so we'll have a couple things delivered out to the parking lot to us here in a few minutes, and then we'll go on home. Oh, so excited!